Hey VC, I wanted to make a video to honor Vance's 300 subs. He's doing a 300 subs contest. Congratulations to you, Vance. Way to go. You're a really cool guy, and I really appreciate that you sent in an entry to my 100 subs contest. And I really wanted to return the favor. You asked us to show what else you got. What other kind of things besides records do you have in your collection? Now, the problem is I really didn't know what to do. I mean, I got so much stuff, but a lot of it's in storage and really hard to find. I was going to originally show a bag I had of all my Beatle buttons and pins. I have a lot of Beatles and solo Beatle pins and buttons, a couple of hundred of them or something, and I couldn't locate the bag. I know it's here somewhere, but I couldn't find it. So I really wanted to enter this contest, Vance, and I figured, well, what can I do then? So I got right here a bookshelf of Beatles books. So I figured I'd show some of my Beatles books. I've got all kinds of Beatles stuff. Beatles are my favorites, and I mean, I've got Beatles, you know, posters and all kinds of little things, but it's hard to get at them. But anyway, I wasted enough time blabbing on. Let's go. Here's one, Paul McCartney, 20 years on his own. I'm going to go through these very quickly because I have a lot to show and a very limited time on my camera. With the Beatles, the historic photographs of Dezo Hoffman. You'll find that as I go on, a lot of these I keep in bags, just as I keep my records in bags. How they became the Beatles. Here's an old book that was a lot of fun to read, Growing Up with the Beatles. The Beatles, Unseen Archives. And here's a John Lennon, Summer of 1980. This is a book, it's sealed and taped, actually. I don't want to open it. A lot of pictures of John and Yoko from the summer of 1980 in New York. Okay, that's hard to get at, unfortunately. Here's an old staple. John Lennon, One Day at a Time. This is to be a very important book here, a chronology, a discography, I should say. All together now, the Beatles discography. It's got all the Beatles songs. I think this was printed in 1975 or thereabouts, so it's kind of limited. It runs out in 75, but it was very handy to have for many years. The Beatles, A Day in the Life. This is a day-by-day history of what happened to them every day. Okay. All You Needed Was Love. The Beatles After the Beatles. This is a book on the solo years. Here's a biography by Ray Coleman called Lennon. About John Lennon, obviously. Well, okay. Here's a couple of little ones I had. This is a TV guide from, you know, when John Lennon passed away in 1980. Here's John Lennon's original book, A Spaniard in the Works, from 1965. Cynthia Lennon paperback edition of A Twist of Lennon. Here's the book of the movie Help. Here's the Beatles' book of A Hard Day's Night. 50 cents a couple of these paperbacks were. I'll have some more that I can just maybe run through. Here's a big boy. Beatles Anthology. Big book. Imagine John Lennon. And I got the Illustrated George Harrison. The Illustrated Paul McCartney. And the Illustrated John Lennon. Or, is that the name of it? John Lennon. Anyway, I don't have a Ringo one, unfortunately. Okay, this is a really great book. The Complete Beatles Chronicles by Mark Lewison. And we know Mark Lewison's coming out with the ultimate three-series, three-part Beatle biography. Okay. Here we got the Beatles for the Record. And right behind that, the Beatles, an illustrated record. Two books that are like the size of albums. It's funny, I just saw this one today, the Beatles, an illustrated record, for only $10 in a flea market. You know, if I had the money right now, I would have loved to pick it up and give it to one of you Beatle fans out there. Maybe some of you younger Beatle fans that really like the Beatles. Here's one called Remember. Photographs of the Beatles by Michael McCartney. This was another indispensable book, one of the most important books ever written, by Mark Lewison again, The Beatles Recording Sessions. Details every single recording session the Beatles ever had. Every take, every mistake, every date of all the recordings. I apologize for rushing through this, but the Beatles in Rishikesh. And I don't know why I don't have this in plastic yet, but since I don't, it enables me to go through a few pages quickly. Beatles in Rishikesh. Okay, here's a big Beatle book. I don't know what this is called. Well, The Beatles, another big fat book on the Beatles. And I have another book just called The Beatles. Mersey Beat, The Beginnings of the Beatles, the early years. A Hard Day's Night in 1964. This is a very important book. The Playboy interviews John Lennon and Yoko Ono, 1980. The complete Playboy. Not the short, abridged version that was in the magazine. This is the complete interviews. I don't know why I have this book, The Last Days of John Lennon by Fred Seaman, the guy who was a thief and who was John's personal assistant. I don't believe all the stories in this book, but there it is. And we have The Love You Make by Stephen Gaines and Peter Brown. Peter Brown is in The Ballad of John and Yoko, Peter Brown. Okay, running out of time here. Come on. John Lennon in My Life. The Beatles Forever by Nicholas Schaffner, an early book I got in 1977 that was really great at the time. The Beatles in Tokyo, Japan. Here's a book about the 1966 tour. We're getting to the end here. The Beatles, The Ultimate Recording Guide. Okay. And, running out. My time's just about up, I think, here, according to the time. The Beatles A to Z, if you want to find out some stuff about the Beatles. By the way, some of these books I may actually be giving away in a future contest. Thanks for watching. Good luck, Vance. Congratulations.